Hey, is this seat available? Is it free?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I think I've seen you before. Do you come here often?
Not really,
Not so
no.
much?
No.
I think I saw. Oh, hey! Good to see you. How are you?
Fine, I see, I'm really
Yes,
well.
what are you doing here? Where is she going?
I think we scared her off.
I think so. What a strange situation, wasn't it? Was she just shy, or did she felt disturbed, or is she suffering from social phobia? Well, for us, looking from outside, hardly knowing her, we can hardly distinguish this, one thing from the other. But people who are suffering from social phobia show the same symptoms as people who are suffering from other phobias. They have sweating and tachycardia and heavy breathing, and they're trembling, and they can't do anything about it. And because they know they react this way when it comes to talking to people, they're feeling even more embarrassed, and they fear they might get judged. And this makes it even worse. Well, but how is it developed, this social phobia? Like almost all phobias, it's developed in childhood, either by adults, like their parents. If they're having parents who are very shy, or tell them again and again, don't meet people, don't talk to strangers, and be afraid, better run away, don't go too close, they might develop this fear of other people. But very often, and much more often, um, situations where they felt embarrassed as a child are the root cause. I've got a client, when she was a teenager, or maybe she was 10 years old, she fell out of the boat during a class trip. And not only was she feeling uncomfortable laying there in the water wet, but also all the other students laughed at her, and she was so embarrassed, and she was so mad about herself, telling her an idiot. How could you do this? You're not even, yeah, you can't even get out of the boat without falling into the water. And if it comes to situations like this more often, they begin to develop the feeling of, I'm not good enough, I'm not worth, I'm stupid, I can't do things, I can't even get out of a boat, for example, or do other things. And these beliefs can lead to social phobia. And while you're still at school, it might not be so visible because they have one good friend or two, and they rather stay with them and isolate themselves from others. They don't go to parties or take part in other school activities. But if they leave school, they become more isolated. They rather stay at home, and even when there are guests at home, they would prefer to stay in their room and look at YouTube videos, or read a book, or at least not have the situation to be with other people. And what they think is that other people judge them, especially when they're teenagers. They might avoid going to school, and if they avoid going to school, they have to have homeschooling and don't learn all the things people learn when they have to deal with groups and other people. So they become isolated, and it will be very hard for them to find a job, or to go out and look for a job, or study with all the strange students around them. They have to talk with people, and this is really very hard for them. So, what can you do? Well, common therapy gives antidepressants, and they confront the client with the situations they're afraid of, to develop a better feeling. But that's not very helpful. It's not very successful. Well, what I do is I work with RTT, with rapid transformational therapy. At in hypnosis, the client finds the root cause for this social phobia phobia. Social phobia is a nice word too, for social phobia. And yeah, reframes this situation, or rather, usually we go back to 3 or more scenes and we find out what's the root cause and give it a different frame, because now as an adult you have different possibilities to cope in these situations, and you can develop better coping skills also. And then after reframing, we do transformation, and the client gets an audio to listen to with very much positive words, seeing himself or herself in the situation and acting with self confidence. We build up the confidence through the audio, through the transformation, and the client listens to it for 21 days, because the mind learns by repetition, and this really helps. And if you've got a friend who's suffering from social phobia, and maybe I'm sure you're his only friend or her only friend, get them help. And if you're very shy or suffering from social phobia a little bit or even more, just contact me at info@maryben.de, and we will have a nice call together. You don't have to pay for this, and we find out if this is something for you, and if you like me and if I like you. We can do this therapy together and get your life better. I see you there. Bye bye.